When Theodore Roosevelt took office in 1901, the United States had been basically isolationist throughout its history in the conduct of its foreign policy. It did not use American power to advance our national interests very frequently, and basically maintained a hands-off attitude toward other countries and toward world affairs. Roosevelt changed that with big stick diplomacy. He quoted a West African proverb of "speak softly, but carry a big stick." And he used that to create what he called a corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine, articulated by Secretary of State John Quincy Adams during the Monroe administration, said that the United States would intervene to stop foreign nations, particularly Europeans, from colonizing Latin America or from intervening in Latin American affairs. It essentially declared the Western Hemisphere the United States' sphere of influence and warned other nations to stay out. But as the economy continued, the global economy, a lot of Central and South American nations who had recently become independent from Spain began to fall into debt to European countries and began to stop payments on those debts and provide the European countries with a basis for intervening. In particular, Venezuela owed money to Germany and Italy and announced that it was not going to continue paying its debt. And Germany and Italy threatened to send a navy over and seize the customs office of Venezuela and collect the money they were owed from those customs. Roosevelt was concerned that this would lead to a violation of the Monroe Doctrine and the commencement of European colonialization in Latin America, using the debt as an excuse. So he issued the Roosevelt Corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, which said that whenever any Latin American country engages in conduct, particularly financial conduct, that could trigger an intervention by a European nation, the United States gave itself the right to intervene in that country militarily if necessary and make sure that the debts owed to Europe were paid, eliminating the need for European intervention. And during the course of the Roosevelt administration, he used that policy to invade Haiti, Nicaragua several times, the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and a host of other Central and South American nations. In fact, the United States Marines were seen as an arm of the U.S. State Department back then. That policy continued under subsequent administrations until it was replaced under FDR by the Good Neighbor policy, in which case the U.S. stressed collective security, collective action of Latin American nations, and self-policing of the hemisphere to make sure that nobody triggered European intervention. By then, of course, Europe had more or less given up the object of occupying the Western Hemisphere. The exception to that came in World War II, when there was a real possibility of a German invasion of Brazil, where there was a large German population. And the United States took active measures to make sure that we protected Latin America against the possibility of a German invasion. Now, of course, Theodore Roosevelt's concept of the big stick is being resuscitated and brought to life by President Donald Trump, who is using the big stick not in the Western Hemisphere, but against Iran and, Venezuela in the Western Hemisphere, and North Korea, to enforce good conduct by those nations and end the pursuit of nuclear weapons and missiles to deliver them by Korea and Iran. Thanks for watching.